I'm starting to get a little close to the panic button. Starting to get a little close to the panic button because you know what? I am seeing eerily similarities between this team and the Tom Thibodeau team last year. Remember, when they first started the season, they were guns blazing, folks. One of the highest scoring teams in the NBA, top 5. And this year, the same exact thing. It increased under Brown. What will Brown do for you? He'll score you a massive amount of points. You'll be the Golden State Warriors of the East. But guess what? You don't play any defense, and now the offense is starting to come back to earth. Just like Tom Thibodeau last year. In the middle of the season, they started not to play defense, and they started to become cumbersome on offense and watch Brunson ISO. So, Pat, you've seen the 4-game skid. We've been watching every single game. What are you thinking, man? What's the first thing in your head?
Defense. Defense, Eric. The Knicks are being exposed. They have such a strong team that they can play off of defensively with OG and Bridges and Mitch. I mean, the team is deep, but they're not performing defensively. They're getting run off the court in a lot of these games. I mean, they're scoring with them. It's not, just leaving out the last game, but they're basically, most of these games that they've lost are not by much. 10 points under, around 10 points, a little bit less. I mean, it's not, that's a 45-second, minute and a half run right there, and you're back in the game. So that's not, I think a lot of it has to do with the Knicks just not falling into the Mike Brown system. I think they're still having trouble getting into that. I really do.
I mean,
And
it's 2026 already. And that's the problem. We got Cat saying 2 weeks before the season starts that he doesn't know where he fits in this system. Now, a day ago, after he gets his lunch eaten by the Pistons, and we'll get to that, but Karl Anthony Towns gets manhandled, scores 6 points, and any time he has a bad game, he goes, I don't know where I fit in this system.
Mhm.
I'm the sacrificial lamb for everybody. I'm the one that's got to sacrifice for everybody. Well, guess what? Have you seen what the New York Knicks do? The whole team's about sacrifice, bro.
Yeah, but he's not really sacrificing that much. He only claims he's sacrificing when he's blowing it. So he's not. I didn't mean it like that, Eric.
But
But
he might like that.
but you got to look at what's happening. They're not showing up on defense. And that is the key. Defense is the key to all of this stuff. Offense is great. I mean, we can get into that in a minute because I got a couple things I'd poke a hole in that too. But, they're not playing defense, and it needs to start with the defense. And they need to
What I
become,
think is, Pat,
they're a
is
middle
that
of the road defensive team, Eric. I mean, let's be honest.
no, I agree. Listen, man.
Not
After
awful,
they
but they're
let
not
go
great.
Tibbs, they've been subpar defending the 3-point. We knew this from last year. The reason Halliburton had that drop against the Pacers when he had that 3-pointer at the end of the game was because we're terrible at defending the 3-pointer. So the New York Knicks are a good team. They're 12 to 14 games above 500. That's great. They know that they're going to make the playoffs. It's fine. That's the problem with the defense, Pat, is because these guys already know that they're in the playoffs. They're just trying to bridge the gap to get to March so everyone is healthy. And then once the playoffs start, bro, now we're playing mad dog defense. Now we're getting at guys. Now we're double teaming guys. Now we're defending the 3. But the question is, are the Knicks good enough to flip that switch? Are the Knicks hungry enough to flip that switch with guys like Karl Anthony Towns on the team who, when they score 6 points, they're not part of the system? When they score 36 and they're shooting 3-pointers, now Karl Anthony Towns is loving the system.
Well, yeah, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns can play bully ball. We've seen it. The guy knows how to play tough down low, but the problem is that he's also prone to fouls. I mean, the guy is like a foul magnet, and
Yeah.
then he's like in the ref's face every time it happens. It's like, you shut up and play ball,
He's
man.
like the meme.
Yeah,
He's like the kid from
100%. And it's like, yo, enough. Shut up, play ball. Let's go. Get on the court. Stop complaining about the shit. Get back in the fucking mix and let's get this going.
Yeah.
We have. Look, the Knicks have the talent. We've spoken about this. Are they a chip contender? Yes. You and I, you don't think so. I know you don't think so.
I think that they
I,
are good enough to get to the finals. They are not good enough to win the finals right now. I believe if it's all said and done, gun to my head right now, the Detroit Pistons bullied the New York Knicks the other night. Until proven otherwise, they are the best team in the East. They're in first place, best record, all that jazz. The
Mhm.
Boston Celtics, we thought that they were going to go bye-bye land since the big injury. Now Tatum's gone, and guess what? What will Brown do for you up there other than putting his hair dye on everybody's jersey for an 11-mile radius? This dude is having a career year, and we designed this New York Knicks team to go up against the Boston Celtics. We didn't design this New York Knicks team to go up against the Detroit Pistons, who are playing some the Malice in the Palace kind of Pistons, the Benoits Pistons. They're playing that bully ball, and I got to admit,
they're not as good as those Pistons, but
oh, absolutely not. I
but
no, Tayshaun Prince, those guys, absolutely not.
it's not
But
even
they're
close.
on. They're hungry
Yeah.
and they're coming up, and basketball means something in Detroit. When I was getting kind of like early 1990s, like Isaiah Thomas, Dumars vibes from that game the other night, watching that big Detroit Pistons logo on the court. Because growing up as a kid, the Pistons weren't a joke. The Pistons were one of the best organizations in basketball, and whenever you went and played them, they were the Motor City Madman. They were the bad boys. You went in there, you were getting an elbow in the face from Bill Laimbeer. These guys are completely stoking the flames of that old style with them. And guess what? The Knicks are soft now.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
Knicks are soft now.
the Knicks play baby shit basketball a lot of the time, and that's the problem. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
Did you say baby shit basketball?
yeah, that's what I
I
call it.
love that.
Let's
Yeah, it's
let's
baby
let's
shit.
let's call it what it is, Eric. I mean, we can't. Me and you can't. We're not mincing words here. We're not into that.
Yeah,
So,
it's soft as puppy shit. I agree.
this is not what we need. We need the team to come out. They got to play defense. And look, I understand the injury management thing. And to be honest with you, pretty sure you and I had this conversation at some point. But I don't mind them having a
I
night
am
where they
complete.
lay back
I'm
and they
cool
have
with
a
it.
couple guys on injury management. They do what they got
I'm
to
cool
do.
with it.
I want Mitch healthy in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We need everybody healthy in the playoffs when we go in. I mean, missing Josh Hart, that's a key here.
Do I
Missing
really need to see OG pull his hamstring against the Pelicans? Absolutely not.
no, 100%, and that's what I'm saying. But we are missing, again, back to that point I just made. We are missing Josh Hart, and he has that heart. He brings that intensity to the team. I know what you're saying, but
Literally number 2 on my list here. I was wrong about Josh Hart. I was wrong.
he's the guy's got heart, for lack of a better
He's
term,
the
and
glue.
he's I don't know if he's the glue, but the guy brings an intensity to the floor where he comes in and he helps everybody else perform at a higher level. And those are the type of guys that you want on your team. And when we go in and you got the complaining and I don't know if I fit in the system, and how about you just fucking fit in the system? How about you go out there and you play basketball? How about
Well,
that? How
because
about you do what your coach is telling you to do and you
yeah.
pass the ball? And you know what? Some nights the matchup isn't going to be in your favor. And when the matchup's not in your favor, you let Brunson and Bridges and whoever else go out and run it down and run what they got to run for when it's their advantage. Because some nights it's not going to be their advantage. Although it's very hard for, you know, Brunson matches up with basically anybody in the league. But, at
Yeah.
that position. But you gotta, I mean, you gotta play to what you're playing. You can't, the game. That's why you have a coach, because
Let me
he designed. Bring it back to Montanaro. Montanaro had himself a plan for every team that we played.
yeah.
He knew the type of defense
Um
they played. He knew the type, and that's what you got to do. You got to go in with the
fucking
plan against the team.
You fucking I literally had an opinion locked and loaded. You threw our high school basketball coach at me. I lost my I had a Y2K in between my fucking ears. But listen, this is what I wanted to say. Thank God I got back to it. You fucking scrambled my brains like Carlos Rodon. Fucking Josh Hart is the Bernie Williams of the New York Knicks. He's not going to be on any fucking cereal boxes. He's not
Okay.
going to be that guy. But guess what? If the core 4 didn't have Bernie Williams, they wouldn't have done anything, okay? Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges are the guys that are the worker ants for this team. They're the dudes doing everything that's not going to show up in the box score. And I have to admit, since Hart got over the injuries in the beginning of the season, it's been great. But this 4-game skid has completely correlated with the fact that Hart rolled his ankle and the fact that these guys are still on vacation. We said at the beginning of the season, they don't do well after a travel day, they don't do well after a day off, and they don't do well in back-to-backs. So
Yeah, I
they
mean,
do well at home.
but you're talking, you're not, none of the teams they had this skid against are bad teams. So that's where we can have a little bit of solace. I know the record may not necessarily reflect that for the Hawks, but I told you at the beginning of the season, the Atlanta Hawks are a good team. They're just, they're
Yeah.
not awful, but they're not a bad team. You know what I mean? They're not the best team, but they're also not a bad team, and they can match up on any particular night. That's why they're basically a 500 basketball team right now. The
Yeah.
Spurs, the Pistons. I mean, you're talking about the Spurs are a Western Conference. That could be a finals matchup. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you
Yeah.
look at the intensity that they brought against the Spurs in the NBA Cup comparatively to the game that they played against them. It was a little bit of a different intensity. I mean,
You
it's
have to, and this is why it gets back, and I'm going to completely say it like a mental patient. It gets back to the lack of the importancy of the regular season, okay? The regular season has dropped in importancy because what I'm saying is when you have a huge game against the Detroit Pistons, bro, the Knicks went with a skeleton crew. They lost by 20 points.
so
An- but hold on. Another thing is, you don't want to show your hand to the team that you're going to fucking wind up in the finals against. You don't want to run your best play. What I'm saying is that a loss to Detroit now on January 5th is not going to affect you like a loss to the Detroit Pistons in March, okay? When you can take that Mitchell Robinson and you can sit him one night, you're going to do it. Who gives a shit who it's against? This load management thing in the NBA, yes, it's terrible for the fans. Yes, I don't like it per se. But guess what? It won the LA Lakers a chip with LeBron James, the load management, okay? Joel Embiid, the only reason that guy can still walk for the 76ers is because of load management. The reason that they had to move the MVP voting to a minimal of 63 games was because people were taking advantage of it. And when you pay $300 for an NBA ticket and no one's fucking playing, that's a problem. But I don't care. We're going for chips, Pat. We're going for rings. We're going for gasps. And we haven't had a championship in my lifetime, in your lifetime, since the 70s, bro. Okay? Like Phil Jackson was on that team. That's how fucking long ago we won a chip.
well, that's what
So
I'm.
I think that,
I mean,
but
that's
we might have a rematch of 1998 Grandmama New York Knicks.
see. I think the more likely the person you'll see moved who has some juice that can command something back for a one-to-one trade is a Yabusele, right? So
Yeah.
like I mean, he's just not being utilized by the Knicks, and he's a good player. The guy's not bad. So like, I mean, last year he was what 11 or 12 points
Oh, he's
for the
good.
Sixers. Yeah, I mean, the guy can play. So like, he has that. What I would like to see is if they're going to get rid of the Yabusele, you know, I think they need front court help. I think they need big man help. And that's where you're looking at who could come and I think that's what they were looking for from Yabusele. You know what I mean? And he's just not giving it.
Well,
He's just
just like Carl Anthony Towns and Yabusele, they kind of like, I know that Cat's a 7-footer, but Yabusele and Carl Anthony Towns have the same body frame. And both of those guys are big dudes who have big bodies that they play like point guards.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a couple guys you could probably pitch a Yabusele for one off. One of them you're probably going to see tonight, Nicholas Batum from the Clippers. I mean,
Okay.
that's not bad. Could be a one off move that would work on that. And the
I
other
agree.
one I think is a Nick Richards from the Suns.
Okay.
Who I would really like to see. Those are my two that I'd like to see. If you're going to get rid of Yabusele, one of those guys, personally, I think I probably prefer Nick Richards, New York guy, went to school at St. Mary's in Manhasset.
Word.
Yeah, he's a good player. and he's 6'11". He's a big man.
He's got length. He's
He's
got
been
defense.
starting for the Suns. The guy can play. He's not. I mean, he's not having a great season. He's averaging like 4 points and like 5
Yeah.
rebounds, but like
So
or whatever it
I'm
is, it
looking at
may
him
be
right
less
now.
than
Yeah.
that. But that's for me. That would be my move.
I think
think
that's a
that helps.
great idea.
I get
We're looking here.
depth
Nick
on the
Richards.
Knicks.
And I think that's a great idea because he brings length to the team immediately. Of a 3.3, he's averaging. It's not about the points; it's about the rebounds, guys, and it's
Yeah, but
about
he's
the field
also
goal percentage.
and he's
He shoot-
eating up. He's eating up time for Mitch.
yes, and this is the thing: we need another Mitch. We don't need another cat on our hands.
Bingo.
Okay,
Bingo.
and that's why in the beginning of the year everyone was obsessed with getting the Greek Freak here, and this is where the rubber meets the road. Okay, this is the chicken before the egg. You name the all-time lifetime debate. It's either do the Knicks move forward with Karl Anthony Towns or do the Knicks move forward with trying to get the Greek Freak? Now,
It's
one
not
thing.
happen. It's Dolan already told us it's not going to happen unless he's playing peekaboo with us.
He's playing peekaboo.
Yeah.
He loves
Listen,
a good game of
we
peekaboo.
we love James Dolan. We don't want to end up on the list. We
He has
love
facial
James
recognition at MSG.
We love James Dolan.
Peekaboo.
Yeah. Can't even see a concept if they kick you
He
out
was the wizard in the Wizard of Oz. More peekaboo games. So yes, he even went out with Peekaboo Street, the skier, at one point. Dude, come on.
But I'm saying, where you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but Leon Rose runs the team.
It's not happening. It's not going to
Tell
happen. We're
Dolan to go
talking
back
about
to that sphere, buddy.
We're wasting our breath, Eric. The freak ain't coming. He ain't coming here February 5th. Maybe after the season, maybe some kind of blockbuster trade, but he ain't coming here this season. If he does, I'll be very, very surprised. And like I've said before, I don't think I'd necessarily be mad about it. I'm not mad about it. The guy's great. How does he fit in? How does it run with the whole thing? Is it him for Cat and who else and what the details of all the stuff are? I don't know. But I think the guy could be great. He's obviously great. He could be great for us. He would probably be a great fit in New York. The guy likes New York, So
played in Kentucky.
Dude, not afraid to play in New York. You know what I mean? And that's you want somebody that can handle that. We see that with all teams in New York. It's going to be interesting. But like I said, I think the Yabusele move. It's a solid, palpable move. It's somebody that you can say, okay, Yabusele's got life in him. This guy can play. He's proven it. So,
I got a hot take here.
Right.
We're going to end the New York Knicks news on this, okay? I got a big acquisition nobody's talking about, okay? The New York Knicks go pick up Kevin Knox from the G League. Kevin Knox III. We have a remarriage, okay? We got divorced, and we're getting married again because you know why? Because we're stupid, all right? Kevin Knox going to the Knicks. You heard it here first, folks, all right? Him and